Hello, Skix here. I do a lot of web browsing. I do a lot of sort of YouTube link following and Wikipedia, going down the rabbit hole stuff, blog reading and that sort of thing. And sometimes it seems like there's a confluence that brings certain ideas to the front. And today, through a TED discussion, a couple of blog posts, a video interview with Alejandro Jodorowsky, the idea of what is art or what art should be has been coming up. And so since I have this nifty new camera and I love hearing myself speak, I have actually some opinions on the matter, and I thought I'd share them here. First and foremost, I don't think anyone who claims they know what art is does. Art is a creation, I guess. That's a starting point that everyone can agree on. Although found art raises another question, but we may or may not get there. So it's creation. So a person creates it, and the next step, I think, is pretty clear, but actually not everyone would agree on here. A person creates it, and another person perceives it. I don't think that it counts as art if it is never perceived. And I guess the second person can be the same as the first person. A little masturbatory, but who the hell cares? You know, I'm a fan of that too. So let's go concrete here. I'll create a I'll create this mug as a piece of art. Now there are those that say it's not art because it's practical. Well, you know, who the fuck cares? That's a distinction that I don't think is very important. Is it practical, or is it purely aesthetic, or does it have, you know, purposes beyond pure aesthetic? I don't care. Someone created this. We'll call it art. You know, we'll pretend it's a giant breast covered in psychedelic paint and blinking lights suspended from the ceiling of the Louvre. Right? Someone creates it. The person who creates it has a vision in some way. Even those who don't actually think of it as having a vision, they've got an idea. They got a vision. They create it. Sometimes they plan it out ahead, sometimes it seems to sort of come out of them or through them, depending on basically how they view their own process. And they have their idea of what it is, what it's for, what it's about. For many of the artists I know, that idea includes a list of its flaws and failings. But you show this to 30 people, and they look at it, they touch it, they smell it, they walk around it, they research how it was made, they research the history of that artistic school that it would be considered a part of, they look up the pencil and crayon sketches from the artist's elementary school days. Whatever level of depth of perception they works for them. You know, some people will glance at it, and some people will study it, and at various levels beyond that. Each of these 30 people will have a different view, and I'm not even speaking metaphorically. Our hardware, our software vary, not only from person to person, but from moment to moment. The lighting in the room varies. The historical context of the piece will vary depending on what was in the news that morning. Who else is in the room while you're looking? Whether you're writing a paper for it, or just, you know, out with friends, whether you're trying to impress a girl, whether you snuck out of the house so that no one would know you went to this particular art show. All this affects it. All of this affects your perception of the art. And I would say that that transient subjective experience is actually where art lies. The physical object you know, in a literal sense, a physical object really can't be art. Art is an idea we apply to a thing, right? So that this is a rock, this is a chair, this is a Manson, and relatively objectively say this is art, this is pretty, this is the embodiment of the despair that is deep at the heart of my soul as a result of the torment of existence in the 21st century. That you can't say actually resides in the thing, right? You can't shave it off, measure it. But the interface between the thing, the created thing, and the perceiver, that's where the art lies. And as such, I would say that literally it can be art to me, but not art to you. And, I mean, people will say that figuratively, but I mean it literally. This literally is art, as I hold it and perceive it. As you look at it, it may not be art. I don't give a shit. Neither of us is wrong. Neither of us is right over the other one. Others will look at this video clip and say that's art, or it's not art. Or the found art of the particular layout of this video clip on that website, on this laptop, on this desk. That's just, it's so apparent to me that that's the way art works. It confuses me when I deal with people who seem to believe that there's an objective reality to the concept of art. Yes, that's art. That's not art. That's fine art. That's decorative